Are you a Ghanaian living abroad and are you having problems running errands in Ghana? Don't worry anymore. Sumafo is a mobile app that enables you to run errands in Ghana in a safe, affordable, and fast way. Our services are caring and assistance services. We'll visit your elderly relatives and connect them to needed health care. Errand services will buy and send groceries, birthday cakes, supplies to homes, offices, and schools. Confirmation services will provide third-party confirmation video for contractors' work, and personal representation services will represent you at functions such as funerals and marriages. Download the Smartphone app on Google and iOS stores and enjoy the convenience of running errands in Ghana at your fingertips. Smartphone, send your love home.
Hi there, my name is Calipos, the only boss with one S. Happy new month to all of you. Welcome to a month of new possibilities. Do you know why life has been made so easy? It's because of TapTapSend. People, TapTapSend is here to make your life easy if you want to transfer money to Ghana. If you want to transfer from USA, if you want to transfer from UK, Europe, Canada, a lot of places all to Ghana. And guess what? When it comes to Ghana, there's no e-levy charge. So, what are you waiting for? Download TapTapSend on Google Play Store and App Store and be ready for exciting offers coming your way each time, every time on TapTapSend.
TapTapSend. Send more, spend less.
Welcome to Second Generation IT Group. Hello, my name is Ferdinand Asamoah, Director of Second Generation IT Group. We've been in business for the past 5 years, and we have a lot of clients who have come through the school and they're doing pretty well. We offer 18 weeks of cyber course, which runs for every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And people ask, why Second Generation IT Group? Yeah, we offer different courses in cyber. Cyber is kind of big, so we offer risk management, we offer FISCOM, we offer cloud computing, we offer pen testing, and we also offer Splunk. Courses are offered virtually. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, and you can just join the course without any. It's very convenient for everybody. You can reach us on our social media. You can reach us on Facebook, you can reach us on Instagram, and you can also reach us on our website, which is Second Generation IT Group LLC.com, the company that provides beyond excellence.
Ebusiafo ya mama kwa about SBTV Africa so I'll be joining and yeah. Now him say na Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Nene Friday bia him say 5:30 bia me ne solicitor our UK and lawyer wisdom akaho eba show no so mo be cheche nyama bebre nti say afina woni abo e channel no so me mo akwa by fam DJ nyama make sure say obe share click a share button no na or down no. Now make sure to say oba subscribe is unsubscribe ya na subscribe na fa wadwen kire bra wo question bia opese obisa lawyer yeah numbers no na wo screen so no send a voice note WhatsApp number or the save na say send a voice note bra e do questions time ye beba ma no ma we you are no pepepe question bia obisa ne bia no fa bra sa so na opese o type so obetimi a type aba obekin kan ma so new na we abo a channel no so dia be ma wakwa aba Emmanuel Amoa me ma wakwa aba SBTV Africa so ya fa bi DJ nyame se na me sikan ne ye be hwe enyama bebre ye be hwe de be ma questions bi say prepare yourself immigration interview ko do country bia ene de o say country bia o anti so be free Ghana ko country bia enyama ye say ohun prepare it down questions ni ade say prepare it down I betimi ebisa ho a wan ko yi anu du airport ho na corona ukoso airport no enti fan say uko UK uko Germany uko USA udu immigration a Olande ya eden a ebebisa 1 or 2 questions ye ba behwe sa anyama no etesi pa ma obon se unu e bia kra wa na odofo bia kra se otu kwan na obuan say Charlie or say anye ya bono back to sender na just say wanye ni homework ye nti ene be hwɛ saa nyama ne bi nti wo questions bi obesa obisa ne bia no lawyer abeka minsa make sure so be share catch up now for say SBTV Africa or live na join ni bi ebe boa pa da chi bi no tu kwan a na also wonya sa feelings wonya nti mun sane mo questions I mean go straight to the point I mean me invite lawyer Amra lawyer.
Hello, Papa.
Yeah, lawyer, me mo akwa about SBTV Africa so boko there.
Oko me ju so I want so exercise.
Me so me ho ye na o sound mu echo kakra bi wom. Me nim say say omo tell clear there am say sound no.
I'm sure say me
mic no say nti once I twen lawyer no twen lawyer obeba no Emmanuel Jemfi or say DJ you are doing a good job, God bless you too. Salifu or say DJ Nyame thanks for the good one, nice one. Mun share and yes mun share ke o share button wo down mun click na mun share ma mun na for WhatsApp so ni Facebook mun share na ina nkofo mra na embesu ade wo questions na obetimi type aba obekan we mu bi na me ka tell say hu yan nti we dey catch up now for share WhatsApp group so I share link no yen ko back na me lawyer.
Yes, DJ.
Sisi ade wo dem clear me ne lawyer wisdom akaho wise smart solicitor UK London oben we Dustin Market McDonald's e chire wa enye Dustin Market mode oben iti lawyer and also share then
and you say share how to prepare for immigration interview for any country.
Okay, and then any country, and then you can go any country. Into a big news, so a big news, any country. Who question your baby sana? Fabra, see any country. Okay, lawyer,
you for your mamo ajo. Ejane di ache yembio yeda ubia system watini in and to send DJ Car and Moon share the link na obinsu and to me and Shebi. Yo, now say you say immigration interviews near Echran is why application be sir Okoka Ebia Udofo Behon Uyiri Ukno and I will mampo and I will call for visit na Oko Krofufroso. Na omo person mo hwe se ne waka wo application form no so no eyampa na ana ne wosi ukwa akoye no eyampa se eno na ukwa akoye ana and sometimes they want to be sure information na with their quality eyade a eda wo manim nanso ya na omo pese omo ne obi ekasa na mo hwe se ne wo ka no eyampa na. Now a very long time ago na UK most of their applications, so we applications over here, ayana uko visa interview. Those times na ubesari anopa amachina udi ebuo akosi ho na ebuo akosa line. Na ubako very early na wako akosa line. Na edu uswa na wako inside. But after some years, omo esisamo to the extent to say no say o pesa o application na ubeye bibia online. Na udi documents ni bibia dia ko. Na omo hwe mu na se ehia se ombe bisa questions bia eno na ombe fro se mumra na omo pensem nsemu ana ombe samwanum asem ahwe se na mo ka no eyampa na ana aware no mpo eye aware pa na relationship no eye genuine relationship ana. UK mostly no se say no eye mostly by paper document once in a while no more fremo to ask questions. Now, so meaning some other countries, US, amudasu the interviews, fro no more be service questions, and I think Canada and some other countries so they still do the interviews. Now, it's a wide range of issues, and sometimes we with me if you never be, and so you're for that interview now, now so in other words, you prepare. Now, sir, aware we're in a genuine relationship. Number one, and so was Robbie because first of all, it is a genuine relationship. What worry kuna and what worry we year. Nyama bi wo hɔ a ɛsɛ sɛ ekunu ɛho fa eyire ne ho. Nyama bi wo hɔ a ɛsɛ sɛ eyire no nso ɛho fa ne kunu ɛho. Ɛno nti ɛsɛ sɛ some questions you can't get them wrong. It creates all kinds of doubts. Even though the relationship is genuine, so when you trust our question, na interview officer no, waka say bia aware no, enye aware pa. And to my boss generally, and then I'll be specific to some questions, or I'll specifically address some questions, very specific ones. So number one, so what's your worry? I have worry for the first. So what's your worry? Ebia obema. Ena eba ababeka nere ho ewo this country or in any other country. Assuming say papa no Ghana, mama no Canada, US, UK, and not any other country. Upesa we abeka no ho. Na omo for interview. Dear ba some an idea na sese wo ho I say ampa the relationship is genuine. So first of all, I'm bet me start questions about application form now. Wow, complete yana. Maybe so say hina na complete application form no. Say a wa wet me mo what ya say a me na me complete application form no. Say obi ena yema wo as so o mo mo say obi ena bua ebia an immigration officer, ana a lawyer, ana even a family member, a cousin, ana a friend ena bua a complete application form no. I don't see any number one. Information I want application form is no as I said bibia also. Because once I want click consent no say you have agreed to whatever is in that form. Want to me and sign a tinako so na me nem say information way na also and no any idea on budgetum. On bet me be so on the form so on be question say when did you first meet? When when is what? Time ben amushiaye. Time ben and amushiaye. The first meeting. Time ben and amushiaye. And as I said, Uma omohu. So when did you first meet? As I said, answers no the same. It's a papano. Now the interesting thing is that say ya will interview no baby wana. Obama and Albano so an interview on this same side. But ye be about good year answer near your second one no. And to say ye papa ni the first time, mostly it is the applicant the na omo ye first. So ye could be some papa ni say na ushia mame na uko kaso mishia no shopping mall. Mame nso ko kaso David oshia wa sorry na akyerɛ answers na mama no enye the same answers. Na eno a create discrepancy, na a create doubt in the mind of the interviewing officer. So sorry. Say yeah, shopping mall, shopping mall. So there is the need for that consistency. The next one is somebody maybe say where ena mushia that is the example mama say sorry a shopping mall a taxi mall a troll station as someone who said yeshawo this spot. When did you meet? I know your dates now, Mushia. They want a specific date. We want to make Kokase Yeshia in January, not Papa so Kokase Yeshia in June. Those dates are not consistent and it can create problem for you. And then say we will be a umpe kasa bebre and now you don't know this information. Nyamekani say bomoding na one uhukafuno monkasa. Ask yourself questions. Na ukura hina mishia wono na wapi sentence na mwedi nkomo na the dates will be consistent. The biamushia time amushia which time of the day and also wait to me a note of it. Say share area ana anopa ewo Independence Square. Yeshia Movenpick Hotel. Yeshia National Theatre. Na bibia aye pepepe and then the time, the day so no more ka pepepe. And then so when you first met, where you first met. The next question I'm going to be says, when did the relationship start? Tambena, Musha says, boyfriend, girlfriend, or you've started dating each other. That is also very important. When you met, where you met, when the relationship started. Now, one to me and kind of say the same day we share Obano, Sadana na relationship na start here. Normally, there's a bit of a few days or weeks or even months in between Anzana relationship now started. And normally, the date of the meeting is different from the date the relationship starts or started. So please be mindful of that. Mehu ebida yebisa maame no se ushia wukuno tamben okaye. Yebisa no se da ben na relationship ni kasa share say or say the same day na omushia ye na that day na relationship ni start here. Ena yebisa no so se time ben na mo start say mo tena together. Or say sada na oshia papa no sada na relationship start here. Sada na otufi ni fie ekotena papa ne nchen. Na judge ni said David won't be that enya natural and wanji antum and let us be mindful of this timeline. That is very important. Now, on bet me be to say application form no hina failure. I've said that already, but they can also repeat that form that question again. You just have to be consistent. Yeah, who can your first time now? Just make sure that you are consistent with that information. I feel no about your personal information. I'm bet maybe say Obano and now Berman say so Berman in Eba Krum how bet maybe say we what is her full name? Not just her name, but her full name. So know that there's a difference between her name and her full name. Ebi our friend Akosia Mansa, but in no one passport mo Akosia Ajewa Mansa. Since some be the full name, please mention the full name. Me who be Matibin Susa say bisa Obano say ukno ni middle name den wosi onim. Wonim ukno middle name. Ye bisa ni 3 times wosi onim ni kuno a middle name. And a case where can say maintain this a genuine relationship because obia waware no not 1 year, not 2 years. Upeso baba kind of onim ni middle name there. Maintain this a genuine relationship. And not homogena so I did refuse say the application. So that is one thing we have to be mindful of. You see your partner's full name, you need to know. I mean the full name. You have to be mindful of that. The next thing I'm going to maybe say the date of birth. Date of birth. And also a idea it's me every amount of be true a memano a date of birth no yana it's me a high. Please make sure you know your wife's date of birth. If you are forgetful, please speak to your wife and take note of her date of birth. Na anko create problem there amount echna. Uyiri date of birth. I saw balance who or money date of birth. But the same a man they don't have too much problem with remembering the date of birth of the husbands. It's the husbands that usually have trouble remembering the wife's dates of birth. And is very important. Then they can also ask, maybe any passport mo ayakra. Once wako kase uno konongo, not just Eddie discrepancy aba, and also it may create a lot of problems. And to be saukuno, a hint near wo, ukratano, a mono, a hint near wo, because I know near the ejuma, ye wo konongo, now so any no passport more, near wo passport, near that nipanemono, and no na odibe ejuma, and then to make sure that the answer is consistent with the documentations that are before the case worker. Very, very important. Very important. Then I'm going to down to our area. My warrior no. Mu one kasana mumia no nyina na mu wo hansa na mu warrior na anabusiafo na represent him. Now, some mumia no nyina mu wo then they also ask more questions. Nipa san na represent him. Ana hina na nipa san about wedding ase ana nipa san about our nase ana someone ni who represented you And also a very important question that Mutimi Ebisapa, very, very important questions they can ask. So you need to get these things right because it's a genuine relationship. There is no excuse for not getting these answers correct or these answers right. So please, 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 just be mindful that these things are done correctly. Now, say a wedding and a civil marriage, registry then you would normally be able to point some people in the pictures who represented you or who are your side of the family or who are the who represented the man or the man's family representatives. Sana etina sometimes almost the pictures cry the children say picture way hinanie because wedding no mono and now our no nipa mienu we wo nipa mienu a mujina wo nchen no omo ye hina mbetime bi so questions are no more the same picture no e di akire uyire nso wa ha so san nipa mienu we omo ye hina na se answers no koye different na e di problems aba nti so be ma no koka se ni owo me benku nso oye me papa ni oye wo me nifa so oye me maame na so oba no nso koka se debi ni owo be na ni benku nso eye ni uncle ni one nifa nso eye ni auntie na just answers no and yet the same. It creates a lot of difficulties because the answers are not consistent. That can create a lot of problem for you. They can also ask, since the application was completed, has anything changed in your life? Has there been any significant change in your life? You have to know. Maybe from the time the application was completed, maybe the woman is now pregnant or something has changed. The woman has changed house, the woman has changed work, something has changed. Ebasa, as I said, yes, there's been some changes in our life since the application was completed. So that also you must keep in mind. So, I'll go back to representatives. Assuming say we UK and now we Canada and now US. Now one kasa one call our NRC, but ebusianfo and the representative a year bibia ema you should know the names of those who represented you. You should know the names of those who represented your partner. You must know these names. Untime nka se wanko anti omo representative wono wonhu. Mehumbi recently maame ne ye ne interview ne bisa ne se uko Ghana for our arena na osi David wanko. Okay, ne hina na represent you osi me uncle. Who uncle your friend is saying, or see on kind of thing. Now, we are immigration officer and now we are interviewing officer. Clearly, it tells you that there must be something not right. Me and I'm here, interviewing officer. Now, we catch them and say, who uncle now representative, who name the thing. That tells me, say, Niawokano and Ukre Enim. And let me refuse your application based on that. So that is very important. Now, they can also ask that what was the last time you met each other? What was the last time you met? Se Papani Bagana and now Bani Bagana 2 months ago. As I said, she came to Ghana 2 months ago. What was the last day you met each other? Day na Ofi Ghana Air Kono. That day no is the last day you met. And see, so Bani Figana on the 1st of August 2022. Back to the US or back to the UK. Because what was the last day you met? It is the 1st of August. And yet now nobody do hana woka. Because only no share last on the 1st of August or nobody do her on the 2nd. But the date you last met was on the 1st of August. So please keep that in mind. But maybe sounds to say, how many times have you met since your very first time you met? How many times have you met? Dear Papa no Ushiana no. Wako Ghana 3 times since 2019 and now 4 times since 2020. You've met a few times. You have to keep that in mind that yes, we met 4 times, you share 7 times, you share 4 times, 5 times, 6 times within the last 3 years. No, these are the number of times you share. So please bear that in mind. I'm betting you be sounds to say it's here now. Ukuno and now we read a year. Flats and Ghana, we know. I know we have flats, we have houses, we have bungalows, depending on the area you live in. But maybe say a bungalow. Remember, so we'll complete your application form. On say If you know, is it rented? Is it owned by you? Or is it other? And it's all cultural also a family house. Not a bizarre interview over casa a on one casa ni flatter and on one casa ni fear. Remember, saying near what application form is different from near near canon. That also create problems for you. If it is a flat, maybe you live in Sakumono Estates, there are flats there. If it's a flat, the answer should be consistent. So Papa say a flat, a banana a flat. So say a bungalow, ABR in Ghana Atomic Energy Commission where they have bungalows. ABR workers say yes, it's a bungalow, it's a house, it's a flat, or it's in the quarters. And so Omohun said this is where he lives, and that is what it is. Say yeah, maybe in one of these estates in Swa, he just makes them understand. Now the thing is this: Niawu kano, and then Niapapano and Amamene kano. Once are the same, and yeah, dear. Normally, umbo koho ako hwehwe se Niawu kano eye ampa ana enyampa. So we see oti bungalow mu na papa no so oti bungalow mu. There's consistency. And yeah, dear, under normal circumstances, it is possible, but anya dear under normal circumstances, umbo sumo bi se on konko hwehwe se ampa uti bungalow mu ana. Sometimes they do it. It can be done. It can happen. But say your answers are consistent, then mostly you don't have those kind of difficulties. So that is something we have to be mindful of. But maybe some to say, will you know about kind of one? Wa worried na? Have they been married before? So I worried that yes, and so can because on the application form, no, and not on the divorce marriage certificate, no much say divorced or single or spinster. Now, what's your spinster? Just so worried or banning worried. What's your bachelor? Just so banning worried. But what got your divorced? A war application form the so interviews we are busy so worried. We see they be worried. Any a ban sign and a divorce a bar marriage certificate no so that creates problems. And an application also no would the divorce certificate a car and to obey then I should say on worried one divorce certificate account. A ban you can also create some problems. And to say Obana worried yes. But maybe some questions about na worried dano. When him time I'll die, the ex-husband or your friend is saying, and now ex-wife, your friend is saying, they can ask these questions. And they can ask, what was the reason for the divorce? How long ago have they divorced? They can ask you these questions. Sometimes, the marriage has not been very smooth. It's been very, very bitter and very, very acrimonious. And people don't like to talk about their past relationships because they are not a character. They are the pain they have gone through. So yes, you can tell the caseworker that look, yes, I've been married before, or my wife has been married before, but she is not comfortable talking about this because of the pain it causes her. And then it creates all that difficulty. See, we understand. Be very open. You don't have to have any problem, but be very open and let them understand that this is what it is. Now, once you are honest, you are direct, you are clear, you are concise, they wouldn't have any doubt about the relationship. It is when you become evasive. I will be that question now. Now the one you don't want to answer the questions. You always try to dodge the question or answer other questions. Then it creates doubt in their mind that what you are saying is not true. We don't subscribe to marriages that are not genuine. It has to be a genuine, and you have to know about your partner. Another very important thing I'm going to maybe say, emofra. Ukuno wa warida ukuno wa mofra and our mofra. So we see aya, then they can ask you questions about mofra amuding, their names, their date of birth. They can ask you questions like that. Amuding, full name, date of birth. They can ask you. Now remember, amudinga our amu passport so ana amudinga our birth certificate na can be different from the pet names na eya omudi frewam. And ebia papa ni bani your friend Joseph Ando. Edinke kana mebo and you be na mebo Joseph Ando. Now, so yeah, my friend Jojo. So you bizarre interview said, what is your husband's child's name? You have to state the full name, Joseph Andor, although we call him Jojo. And you could be some man say, Ukuno Bani friend is saying, or see Jojo. Papa no so ya bisa say Ubani friend or see Joseph Andor. Say one man on one tear say the same Joseph Andor no na mu friend Jojo na. Ombeka you have given different answers. Now bet we so no they refuse say for application. So even if you are given a short name or a pet name, let them understand say the child's full name is so and so. Ena sana ya my friend will fee Jojo and a Joe and my friend will fee. And they are totally different from the full name near I want the birth certificate. So please bear that in mind. But maybe something. What was the last time when papa no ne ma ekasaye? And what was the last time when we no emma ekasaye? That is very, very important. And how do you speak to each other? Mama no kwakaso. Last time na many papa ne ma ekasaye was 3 months ago. Papa no kwakaso and run kwa when me ma ekasaye. Clearly, those answers are not consistent. It can create problems in the decision making. So please make sure that time amukasa is consistent. Last week, 3 months ago, 3 months ago. If you've never spoken to them, say you have never spoken to them. But natural. Say what worry will be. Nipa ni wamba. Ubeka say when name of and kasada. It is not natural. It doesn't sound persuasive to me as an individual, let alone to the caseworker or a decision on your application. Say uni ubiawaria ne mano uniomo enkasada. It is possible. Say uni mofrani enkasada. Dia na emofrani wo omo mama nchen. It's possible. Ana mofrani wo omo papa nchen. It is possible. But if that is the case, make it very clear. Say yes, emofrani wo mama nchen. Many papa ne kasa. Many so wo ma. You're from say now. So because I'm a fan of mama nchen, I've never had the opportunity to speak to the children. Make it very clear, very plain for the caseworker to make a decision based on information now with the amano. When you clear, obey a decision with doubt in the mind as to what to do. Now, another question they can ask has to do with ukuno nejuma and awuje nejuma no or yejuma ewohe. Of course, so only UK ha. Untimi my details, two my details about nejuma na or yeah. I don't see ABIA or yejuma with Sainsbury's or with Tesco or yejuma with the Ministry of Education or Department of Education or Ministry of Justice, and now or yejuma as a security officer. You need to know these things. You need to speak to your partner and get to know this information and get it right, so that amo bisawa nia ubekano and nia ukuno bekano ebe the same answers. Na matters will be resolved. Now, another area they can tackle is if you visited each other before. I'm going to maybe some questions about the house. Again, is your house furnished? Is it furnished? Maybe some questions. Papa no Ghana, yes. My minister was saying that yes. And if you know what is in the house? Is it furnished? In your living room, what is the color of your carpet? What is the color of the wall? And so yeah, be sunny papa ni ho. And yeah, be sunny no. Now the second person and so the aba. Yeah, be sunny the same questions. Dear papa ni say or no or use gas. My minister say no or use your friend is saying electricity cooker. Now the answers are different. So I'm going to maybe say more garden and na papa ni say I your garden. My minister Davy a flat. There's no garden. Not the problems about. So you have to know each other's residence and you have to be sure the answers are consistent. Long and short, if you are married, you're in a genuine relationship, please get to know each other. They are brothers, sisters, siblings, cousins, as much as you can. The parents answer a very crucial question. So maybe sir, and to Uyiri, papa, your friend is saying, Uyiri, mommy, your friend is saying, Otiase, Otiasia, Owahe. These are questions they can ask. Uyiri, Awonianomo, your friend is saying, have you spoken to them before? things of the sort are very, very important. They can ask you to be sure that the relationship you are talking about is genuine. But maybe something. So, what was the last time you went on holiday together? What was the last time you went on holiday together? Mamino or UK or Canada or US or Ghana? Abia or buy and also Yempika currency, Yanko Brig Gardens, Yanko just spend some time. And I Yanko Kaku National Forest just to spend some time. Or let's go to some nice hotel in the central region. Or you spend some few days there as holiday. So these are questions they can ask. Before I continue, there's one very important I skipped. And that question is, when did he propose and where did he propose? So when you met, where you met, when the relationship started, when he proposed and where he proposed. Mehubia, Papa Nika said, or proposima obano ewo epuano at the seashore when they were sitting on the horseback. They were sitting on the back of the horse. That is where he proposed. I don't know which country that is, and I don't know where the horse, they both sat on the horse. That is what the man said. And Obama said, David, or propose mano, ewo ono ne wofa ifie. The woman said the man proposed to her in her uncle's house when he came to visit. And he proposed in the sitting room or in the living room. Papa Nonso said he proposed at the seashore, at the beach, when they were sitting on the horse. Both of them were on the horseback. Now, clearly, these two answers there is no way you can bridge these two answers together. Living room proposal, horseback proposal at the seashore. There is just no way you can bring these two answers together. So when you met, when the relationship started, when he proposed and where he proposed, these are the initial questions. My boss did it out. So please bear that in mind. Now I go on to whether your house is furnished and the color of your furniture. You can ask all of these questions. Then they can ask you also, yes, after your first meeting, when did you go out again? When did you go out again? First meeting here different. When did you go out again? Is another question they can ask. It's a trick question, and if you're not careful, you will get it wrong. You see, because especially so when in the panel peer for so many times, it is, if you're not very careful, you may not remember the first time you went after the first meeting. So please bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. So when it comes to these questions, please be very, very mindful. Another very important question they can ask is, Ukuno, makasa about Ejuma, makasa about the fee. They can ask those questions as well. So please keep that in mind. They can ask very important questions about the ring. Ring now we share no. They can ask questions about the ring. So, and a lot of questions can come about your ring. Who bought the ring? How much did he buy it for? Where did he buy the ring from? Did he measure your finger before he bought the ring? Or auto ring ni you know? Or did you not answer now you want to expand it again? Now these are questions that can come up. And it's a mamene can say, oh, menene kwa ne koye okoto ring no. Now so papa ne kokasa onunkwa ne koto ring na. Say answers no, it's not the same. But or say, oh yes, menene koye ne koto ring no. Papa no says I menene koye koto ring. Mama says the same thing. I menene koto ring no. Mukoto no wahe no wabo shop no. Mukoto in Accra or wherever it is you went and bought the ring. So same answer. Then you are in good hands. If not, then you are digging a hole for yourself for them to exploit. So please bear that in mind. Another very important area they can tackle is religion. But maybe say, are you religious? Are you a Christian? Are you a Muslim? Are you a Buddhist? Are you a non-believer? They can ask you these questions. So who can say yes, we are Christian. Who can say David, we are Christian, we are Muslim, and now you are a non-believer. That creates problems. And now who can say who are Muslim, we are Christian. Now who can differently say we are Christians and we are Muslims. That is a huge discrepancy. in your answers. And that is a basis for refusal. That is a straight basis for refusal. So please be mindful of that as well. I've talked about the ring and I've talked about religion. Now, being a religious person or being a Christian is different from being a practicing Christian or a practicing Muslim. Will be a Christian, but they don't practice. I waboso or a Christian, but on sorry, maybe once Christmas and not Easter, no once on your practicing Christian or on your practicing religious person. You have to make them understand. So yes, no, or you're Christian, but he hasn't been practicing recently, or he hasn't worked at it recently. And I'm really on your Christian. On your Christian, that is your own answer. Or media, that is your own answer. But the most important thing is Niawube Kano and no and SSA or non so Ebeka. Amumba Ufie, Amumba Diwechi, and Gonko Sunday Mukwa sorry and Amunkwa sorry. They don't have that luxury. They don't have that time. And Niamuni Woody one no Kano and no sooner Ombejina at the aye decision about your application. Also, another very important area is they can ask you about, have you traveled abroad before? What Ghana Uber Chroma? No, maybe so what to find an I am. What to acquire a Kroban Suna Ukoe, if you work for South Africa, work for Dubai, work for China. Yes. Sesanetia, ma, Obana, or Hanon, so Uber Becano, we even so, and say, I, me kuna go South Africa, work for Dubai, work for China, work for Israel. Those answers will have to be consistent. But now, who yes, but two kwanda. Na uyiri kokase untu kwanda no. Na and also consistent. That can also create a huge problem for the decision maker in deciding to refuse your application. So that is also another thing you should be mindful of. So what to kwanda, previous travel history is very, very important. Please keep that in mind. I'm betting maybe also who calls South Africa no, what did you go for? Is it business? Is it just for leisure? Is it as a tourist? You need to know that. Who can also need to know that. Your wife has to know that, and then your answers can be consistent. Now, these are some questions they can ask. It can never be exhaustive. You can never, ever ask all the questions. It's a long, endless list of questions. Maybe, sir. And to Niamima can say, what warrior? Make sure, sir, you know about your partner. Make sure you know about your partner, their family, their work, their personal history, their personal life story. It's not everything you would know, of course. It's not going to tell you about the number of girlfriends he's had in the secondary school and all that sort of thing. It's not going to tell you about it. And you may also not have told him all of that. But the key things that need to be known, please ensure that you let your partner know. But maybe say about your previous applications too. Have you made any previous applications before? Uwako kasa obano and me kuno dia on your application biada. This is the first time why your application set over UK and I will two coin. Papa no say bia connection man be aye 3 or 4 applications amano na ama information na mudi mano na aye divergent information na create a lot of problems. So please make sure everything is consistent. I'll go back to family. They can ask you, what was the last time you met your husband's mother? Or what was the last time you met your wife's mother or your wife's parents, if they are alive? That settles the matter. Even let me recite more questions. When did they pass? That is also another question they can ask you about their life. I'm going to say about your medical condition. Our medical condition or medical problem or yarebi. Also, he's a strong man. He hasn't got any medical problems at all. Yakobi Sapapensu or say our diabetes and now our arthritis and now our yarefu frubi not just obano nimnia nikuno and suffer from. In that case, it also creates a lot of doubt in the mind of the decision maker. So Papa no said, no, I have no medical problem. Maminu said, Papa no medical problems, or vice versa. It creates all kinds of difficulties and problems for you when you are answering to when you're answering some of these questions. So please, again, make sure that you get everything consistent. Now, maybe so the last time we share back to the UK no. Ukuno obeja wo airport na ubeka say I ono so beka say David na and also I create discrepancy. So please make sure you have the consistent answers to these questions. Now, again, some other questions they can ask is, particularly if you have lived together not too long or you have separated not too long, if you're on holiday shortly now, they can ask you, what did you do the last weekend before you parted? Did you go to church? Did you go out? These are very simple questions they can also ask you. And then another thing is they can ask you about who is sponsoring your application. Who is sponsoring your application? How much are you paying towards the application? How much is your wife paying towards the application? Who is paying all the fee? These are questions that can also be asked and you need to know and get it right for. But mostly it's about when you met, where you met, when the relationship started, when he proposed, where he proposed, if your partner has children, their names, their date of birth, and then if they are living with him or they are living with the other partner, etc. They need to know. If your partner has been married before, they need to know all these questions. The reason for the divorce, they need to know. What was the last time you spoke? I'm just generally going over everything. What was the last time you spoke? What was the last thing you did together as a family unit? They need to know all of these things. And once your answers are consistent, I can guarantee that the caseworker will make a decision. Now, when it comes to entry clearance applications, especially for spouses, most of the requirements are straightforward. They are tick box. Almost if for 6 months pay slips, they have nothing against that. For 6 months bank statement, there is nothing anybody can do about that. For marriage certificate, there is nothing anybody can do about that. But the relationship, a hundred questions ever. And to someone they just say everything that is why you have to take your time, and of course you have to get all the information correctly, because the relationship is genuine. You don't have to worry too much. But if you're not the type of person who likes to ask questions, please sit your husband down and ask him questions, or sit your wife down or call her and ask questions and get to know certain things before you are called for the interview or before you go for the interview. If you are coming as a student, school now of course now Nipana or sponsor you have to know some of these things. Minimum beer overdo kromha ebisa is a course ben or school university now background or name university let alone course now or babayano and until Omu cancel the visa no and they sent him back to Ghana. So some of these questions, please just be mindful and get them straight before you come. It is not sham, it is genuine, so just make sure you have your information correct. DJ, there's a lot more, but if there are any questions, I'll respond to it.
Okay. Okay. Lawyer Wisdom Akao, ya beda say we brief here when na me catch up the program we disua and the enti omo person mo take nyama serious no. Omo no mbehwe say utie na usua ubetimi aka kire obi. Ai bia unua bi ana ebusuani bi ana bibisa. Anti very necessary because when family home oh na we dey say me UK and I'm we dey that. Omo guidelines nya ye betimi ebisa o. Nti nyama e say wo and you know what can you bet me bisa ye mbisa wa fine ye bisa wa say are you married, show certificate to show ya I say okay congratulations thank you and one why lucky ebi also won say why mistake wa no the another one but no fit or dey go sa that money say oh anti I didn't use you okay lawyer also on share and chair appointment me to the lawyer so for no join here obetimi do questions aba obetimi type say untimi type so your voice note mo am ye new no mo am ta share de mo ni obetimi your voice note WhatsApp so tiatia or say on che me hu say be comments be aba na voices so obetimi asebi na ma na o screen no sisi ana what send question be person obisa so obetimi type bra or comment section make sure say obe subscribe so when about channel no so SBTV Africa videos in the door super every Fridays bia no 5:30 or be joining here. Thursdays many Aisha here from Germany enti say wa be joining here. Yen go straight na me mfa questions ni bi mbra na lawyer tiko, but me just was ababaka. Yenko straight na me fa questions ni bimbra na na answer me quick ones. Mo shout out there no. Okay, so lawyer, take away.
Yo, Emmanuel Amoa. Good evening, sir. I say, what should I say when UK immigration asks me, why do you want to tour the UK? Interesting question. Of course, everybody deserves a holiday. If you're away Juma for the whole year, 2 years, COVID by went to me and took wine. Why Juma, you've been working throughout, and you think you want to give yourself a break just to refresh yourself again, to come back to work fully active and alive. And yes, of course, what me and say, look, it's just a tour. You just want to refresh yourself. You just want to have a holiday and come back to your work in the UK. And no big problem. Sarah Ntepe is a lawyer. Is it possible that you are married but you have a child with another man, but your child has a family name? I had that problem. I said, is it possible that you are married but you have a child with another man, but your child has a family name? I don't really get it. It is possible that you have a child, you are married, and you have a child with another man. Example, Abia, at the time you were in secondary school or in the sixth form, you had a child before you eventually became a married person. In that case, the child will have your name. Maybe at the time the child was born, secondary school days, the man didn't want to accept responsibility. So the child took your family name. That is also possible. So if later you marry, then of course, you would obviously have had a child and the child is married you are married but you have a child. Another scenario is say, we obi a worry, assuming that you are married now. When you are married now, let's say you married in 2019, there is no way you can tell me that you married in 2019 and you had a child in 2021 in another man's name. Okay? So if you're married to Mr. Danso and then you have a child, you married to Mr. Danso in 2019, he's your husband, and then you have a child in 2021, and the child's father is called Mr. Ando. How can that be? It means that there is a question mark about the marriage to Mr. Danso. Unless, say, Mr. Danso said, okay, I married you, you've gone to have a child with another person, but I still want you as my wife. That is a different matter altogether. But normally, so why worry Mr. Danso? Na uba Mr. Danso ding na SSA ebabu fani so se onone abu fani papa. So yes, it is possible either way. Right. Senyo Midoji, Senyo Midoji. Is this for those seeking visa from Ghana to other countries or interview for citizenship in US? It's across board, mostly for people who are traveling from outside, from Ghana or from any other country, wants to come to Europe, the US, Canada, anybody. So this is a general question. Now, there are questions that are sometimes very specific to people who are already in the UK, in the US, in Canada. Assuming that the parties are in the UK, both parties are in the UK, and they've called you for interview. In that case, they can ask you, what was the last time you went shopping together? That's a different question because the two of you are here. And they can also ask you, your house. If you stand in the window, what do you see from outside? If you stand in your bedroom window, what do you see from outside? In that case, you're both in the UK, or you're both in the US, or both in Canada. That is different. So there are some questions that are specific to people coming from outside the UK, from US, from Canada, and there are some questions that are specific to people who are inside the UK, where both parties are in the UK. So it depends on the relationship and where the parties are. Musa Lamin, I have applied for a visa in the UK, but I don't get how can I do now. I don't get a question. It says, I have applied for a visa in the UK, but I didn't get. How can I do now? Maybe he hasn't been granted the leave he has applied for. Well, you can always talk to us and possibly come to see if we are able to look at the reasons for refusal. If it can be addressed, we will address it. If we can't address it, we will let you understand that maybe there is another option for you to take to get your leave in the UK. But I need to get more information with regards to this question.
Lawyer, next one. Musa.
Lamin Musa. Yes, that is what I've just answered. I say I have applied for visa in the UK, but I didn't get how. Can I?
Okay, let's go next one. Let's go this guy, Emmanuel Jemfi.
Emmanuel Jemfi. I say, lawyer, it's getting to 2 months now. I haven't had any response on my visit visa. Is there any way out? Is there any way out? Yes, visit visas are now taking a bit of time. Usually, they will tell you 14 working days or 10 working days, but it's now taking about a month or 8 weeks. And so if it is getting to 2 months, so one year the super priority DNA, and now we the standard one, and now you did the standard application, then give yourself up to 2 months. I am sure the decision will be coming out shortly. But there is a bit of delay with the processing and decision making with regards to visit visa applications.
Okay.
Next one.
So next one, today. Okay,
Alex, just resend it again. Just send it again. It said, lawyer, please, I sent you an email, but no response up to now. Can you resend it to me again, or can you just send it to my my WhatsApp? Maybe I'll look at that quicker for you. So please, send it to me again. There's quite a lot to do with at the same time, juggling things here and there. So sometimes we miss some of these things, but please get back to me. What is your take on the change of name after getting married? No big deal. Wahin Collins asked that question. Now, if you are married, you can always use your marriage certificate to change your name, especially it is the women, our women that change their names to use their husband's name. So, be your friend Lily Ansa, and our worry Mr. Dansu. As for today, I'm using Mr. Dansu as my example. And so, no person was a name from Lily Ansa to Lily Dansu. About to me, I hear a new application, and on the new application form, Nadine Weber Lily Dansu. Now, the reason for the change of name is marriage. You tick that box. Now, with the Aqua Komawam, they will be able to give you a new passport in the name of your husband, Mrs. Lily Dansu, no longer Lily Ansa. Amaliba Benjamin, I said, what if you married but you do not have marriage certificate? Well, if you marry and you do not have a marriage certificate, it is going to be very difficult to prove to the authorities that you are married. Because who do you want no echo can, or you just go and say, I am married, there is nothing to prove. And it is all about evidence. It is all about evidence. If you don't have the evidence to show, it's going to be very difficult for them to accept it. Proxy marriages or customary marriages, the families can meet, they can do the dowry, give the dowry, exchange the drinks here and there. That is marriage. But please make sure you register it and then you obtain a customary marriage registration certificate to confirm the fact that you are married. But if there is nothing to support it, then it will be very difficult or impossible for you to prove that you are a married person. So please try and get a document to support the
okay, voice with
Gigi Nyame, please, I would like to ask the lawyer. I've been rejected from a Canadian embassy twice or thrice. I'm married to a Canadian. And yeah, I just asked a question about my child because that are the questions that I faced during the interview, and I'm still in Ghana, which my husband is in Canada. So the problem was based on my daughter having a different name, a family name where I don't know the father or the whereabouts, and also living from a different country to Ghana without having any papers, and they took it as a lie. How am I supposed to handle it because I'm still in procedure of another document which I know shortly I will still face the interview. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, lawyer, for say I feel no joining away or UK. Inti me pesanka ye kasa na ye the UK die na ba more. Mini Steve aye Canada ono Canada mini na ye say obi a new or channel inti bi a questions bi wa obi sana. Mini Steve no Canada immigration expert ya san nsem a mo bi se bi say nyina mini na ka wo ye page no so dada. Inti we no ono ye UK no Ubisan be a concern because I quite only the Canada now need different country. Also UK no. So an lawyer. Obet me answer ni nyina.
A bit of why you bet me answer by being so young to me because a Crobiane Nimra. And the name Canadian law, name Canadian law, name how they do their things. But Niawabisa is quite a generic question. So because Utia, first of all, was see a war Ghana without any documentation. And the ABA, not our Ghana unlawfully. Mostly, so UK, for instance, so we are a Krobi Sunni, now call another country. Now we application if you have they expect that you will have a genuine or a valid visa in the country in which you are. Example, we are Ghana name, not China. Now we saw your application from China, ever UK. They expect that we are sitting at our China. And yes, we are illegal our China now we application abaha. So they expect you to go back to your country to apply from your country to come back. And it's on no Ghana, not only sitting at our Ghana, not our application to Canada. I don't know the Canadian law, but it is possible that they may want her to be in Ghana legally. If that is not the case, then they may want her to go back to her country to apply from her country to Canada. Now, it happens. These things do happen. But if you do not explain it very clearly to the interviewing officer, they cannot know exactly what the situation is. And they would assume and make their decision on the wrong assumptions. And to be saying, as a woman who says, look, when I was in the secondary school or at this so age, that is when I conceived the relationship. It was never a relationship. The man never accepted a responsibility. He's moved on with his life. I have been solely responsible for the child. And that is why my family name is on this child. Remember another example. Me dealing with a case some years ago. Mameno Kai said, Papa no, not obey national service. Ewo Ekrabia in the eastern region of Ghana. Once a national service personnel so there, Omo could do crasi when normal village champions, crasi for ewo ho. And only lady on your relationship. And ultimately no, Mameno Wuye. National service personnel, or in national service ni pet, or packing a bag, or fee chromo, and that has been the end of it. This woman has no idea where this man is up to and now, yeah, Kase. And the Owo Nebano, or no needing, ni papa ding, and all the two Abufreso. This is similar to Niasiste Air Cano. So it is possible that these things do happen. An idea ya posted teacher be an accountant be a village be, wakot now. When they obey any relationship, you're posting it back to another town, and that is the end of the relationship. So these things do happen, but if you do not explain it, they cannot know exactly what it is. And to me, sister, if you happen to go for the interview again, please explain all the questions they asked you before. Now you think you didn't explain very well. Take your time, explain it very clearly to the caseworker or to the decision maker. Once they understand and you persuade them that you are telling them the fact as it is, I am sure your visa will be granted for you to join your husband in Canada.
Okay.
DJ, if I trouble to me, I'll be salary. I remember, say, your Bobby Sano 10 years ago, Ghana, Nessa Nipano, Etukwan, Aba, Irepuha. Still now, and Sano, that's also, and I say after 10 years, more delete, but that's it.
And Saniboni, dear, in fact, my kind of baby said it can be taken off after some number of years, but what I know is that it is there. It is there. I don't think your bones na for any reason another application yeah bisa say have you made an application before, have you used another name before, uko can know now you can bones be my next chamber na the problem about. So uko can say yes I've used a different name before, yes my fingerprints were taken, uko bones are not a chamber, you haven't lied, so that cannot be used against you. As far as I'm concerned, I know fingerprints are there for a very, very long time. It may be 10 years, it may be less, but I know it stays there for a long time, even possibly beyond 10 years. Although it's I've read a few articles which says that it can be taken up after some number of years. Duke Ajimai Opoku, please, a friend of mine has 6 months UK visa and he wants to come. He wants to come. Please, is there a way he can get papers when he comes to UK? Or please, what is the best advice? In other words, when you have 6 months visa, opesa obeba UK. Nti obisa se oba obetime anya na sitna ewo krom ha na. I think we've treated that topic. I discussed a general options of omwa. So
back subscribe to channel videos some previous interviews
the pointers. So but do here na be been to went to me and kwa with me first so just settle yourself here genuinely in accordance with the rules so that you don't become an illegal immigrant. Now the next one is favor. If you have 10 years root visa through marriage, can you apply for indefinite leave to remain after the first 2.5 years? No, you can't do that. If you're on a 10-year route, that is why it is called 10-year route or 10-year route. If you're on a 10-year route, you have to finish the 10 years. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, a total of 10 years. And sana, what to me, anyawo indefinite leave to remain after that. Unless you switched from the 10-year route to the 5-year route. If you switched from the 10-year route to the 5-year route, then of course you do 2.5 and another 2.5, a total of 5 years, then you can go for your indefinite. If you started on the 10-year route and then you switched to the 5-year route, you start 2.5 and another 2.5, a total of 5 years, and then you can apply for your indefinite leave to remain. But you can't apply for indefinite straight away after the first 2.5 years. JRKB. I am in Italy and my husband is in the UK. I have applied for a visa to UK 3 months now. I haven't heard from them. Can it be backlog? Yes, it's backlog. Thank you. Yes, it is a backlog issue. Applications which would normally be decided within 8 weeks are now taking 6 months and more. There's a general delay in the decision-making time. And to call online to see who could share, decisions even in the UK are taking 11 months. Under normal circumstances, these decisions take 8 weeks. To say no, they are taking 11 months. And their reason is that, first of all, COVID created a lot of backlog. And secondly, Ukraine war also created additional backlog. And they are now moving people, resources from one department to deal with the Ukraine asylum cases, which is way over 40,000 from my understanding. And so 20 people should be dealing with decisions from Italy. Now maybe only 5 people are dealing with those decisions. In the case number Dawson, there's a lot of delay. My sister, keep waiting. I'm sure it will come at the right time. So keep checking your email every day. I'm sure a decision will come true for you soon. Richard Kweku Obing Mensah. Can I change my date of birth in my passport after I have received my 2.5 stay in the UK? I mean change of date of birth. I like that. Now, it is possible to change your date of birth if you can prove that there was a mistake or there was an error in the initial date of birth. But you have to prove with documents that are contemporaneous to the time of birth. Mamen Sisu, say, hey, dear, passport more, you're sure, the 12th of May, 1970. And our passport no more. Now, so later, when you say, birth certificate na ye ma time na ye wo no was the 12th of April 1972, and you have that old birth certificate, the very first one, which was issued when you were born, at the time you were born, not more than 1 year, but within 1 year when you were born. You have your baptismal certificate, the very old one, not recent one. You have your weighing card, the very old one at the time you were born. If you can provide this document to show that there was an error in the passport, the date of birth in the passport, then you have an argument. But Ukoji birth certificate now saying in Ukoji set your 1970. Meanwhile, date of birth certificate now with 2020 and Ukoji, and there is no way it will be ever changed. You can only use the birth certificate or the document that were issued at the time of birth. Nothing after that can be used to argue for a change of date of birth. Vishnu Coleman, a friend has B1 visa to America. Can he change his status from tourist to become a legal resident without marriage or asylum? I am not privy to the US law, so I am sure DJ Nyame will refer you to a lawyer in the US, to an attorney in the US who may be able to assist you in answering this question. I am not going to pretend that I know the laws of the United States of America. So please, DJ Nyame will refer that to an attorney to give you that answer.
Okay, anyway.
Baptist Afuakwa. What could be the cause of delays in visa submissions? I mean the feedback. I have been waiting for about 3 months now. Well, I mean, like I've said, there's a lot of backlog. There's a lot of backlog, and the Home Office staff shortage. Too much work, too few people to deal with it. So too much work, too few staff. Too much work, too few staff, and therefore there's a huge backlog. So the cases, if they can deal with, let's say, 100 cases a day, maybe now they are dealing with only 25 cases. So it means that it keeps building up. It keeps building up. Keeps building up. So backlog most likely is the reason for the delay in the case being decided. Yes.
Lawyer, mimbisa saade we then baya UK for nankasa decide say any interviews na yam fan applications nintum na omo ankasa na mo check wo home officer qualifier na ama bisa na first ndi no mo ye interview ni ekoshi omo gi say bia ade na but to the extent say ndi say omo Skype interview ni ade pese mo so unim bia bibisa na unim bibifa ho ana omo ja interview ye for
only say area say you in near sisa, you know, there's always improvement. Now most likely, I don't know, but most likely those years now, one can call interview, you know, with the paper now call commercial paper no, so they may be able to check if you want to share infrared camera via CSS documents here, papa and maybe those were it, they need to see you and ask you questions. But as times, you know, as time evolved, as time changed, they are able to do those verifications without having to see you. And nothing as I say, in our application, I will scan documents now. That is also one reason for a delay, because they now have to check with all the institutions or all the departments to show so documents now with their banner, papa, and your fake documents. And to the bank statement bar, they have to check with the bank if that bank account exists, if that amount exists on it. With the certificate bar, they may have to check with the school to check some paper or school and our course at school. So all the time they spend in all these checks also adds up to the delay. But of course, the reason why they don't ask for interview now is they are able to conduct these checks without you necessarily having to be in their presence. Whatever questions they have, most likely they can email you to provide an answer. But if that is not sufficient, then they may want to see you in person to ask you questions, either by video or WhatsApp or any other way, video, they can do that. But once they're able to check, I think it's because they're able to check the documents without necessarily talking to you. That is why they actually check this, they change the system. And also to deal with cases more quickly than if you have to invite every person for an interview.
Okay, Yanko, question.
Dylan Aqua Cornelius, when you applying for masters in the UK, do you still need IELTS to enter? Well, check with the university what their requirements are. I'm sure the universities will tell you what it is. At the time we didn't have to do all these IELTS exams, but of course times have changed. So please always speak to the university, ask them for their requirements, and you would know what you need to know. I am unable to say specifically what English requirement you would need in this case. I'll see you, my lawyer will come and see you right away. Thank you very much, Richard Kweku Obing Mensa. God bless you. God bless you. I'm grateful. Grace. This is a very nice way of spelling Grace. Is it Grace or Grace? When applying for a visa, what should be the total amount in your bank account? There is no fixed amount. A warrior application form, we don't look at how much the closing balance is. What we look at is how much money comes into your account, whether you meet the 18,600. But a visit visa, I treated visit visa some time ago. There is no fixed amount. But what is our own say? So over £1,500 as your closing balance. Now, we still buy UK for 2 weeks. How much are you coming to spend? If your work has £550. How much is the ticket? If you have £600. Into the 550, no, any 600 niboma. I get 1,000 something. Let's say 1,000, 1,150. We'll see kind of 1,500 now on account of 400. There may be other expenses. So clearly that 1,500 is not enough. So I would say the more you have, the better the chance of your application being granted. The more you have in your account, the better the chance of it being granted. The less you have, the less the chances. Of course, so £4,500 equivalent, you have £10,000 equivalent in your account. Now we see Uber spending just about, let's say, 2,000, 2,500. Of course, you still have over £7,500 available, which will prove that you have more than enough money in your account to support your application, to support you when you come for a visit visa. So yes, that is what you have to. No fixed amount, but the more you have, the better your chances. Al Maliba Benjamin says, then is it better I tell them that I haven't married when I have no marriage certificate during the time I am filling out the form in order to escape from further questions? Would that do? I will not tell you as a lawyer for you to tell any lie. If you are married, you are married. If you are not married, you are not married. If you are married and you do not have a certificate, you have to obtain a certificate. If you are in a relationship and you are not married, that is a different matter altogether. Ebia wako ho abusuafo no wako ye kokoko. Wonya emfa ensa ne nkoye. Amwatena sese yesesa nsa na jese abusuafo ejetum se mo ya warefo a, you are not married. But if you have performed the full customary rites as a married couple, you cannot say on the application that you are not married. What if you say you are not married and somebody comes up to say, no, I know this man is married. This is the evidence. These are the pictures of the ceremony. What would you do? Now it creates more problems for you. So please obtain the certificate to support the fact that you are married. Now asamno, I is simple for you. Adipa Amma, can I ask this question, please? Yes, of course you can. If your fiancé, who you are not, the question is not very clear. Let me read it the way it sounds. Please, can I ask this question? If you fiancé, who you are not married to yet, please, if he is applying for a student visa, how can he add you as a wife or a fiancé to your? Okay, that's fine. I get it. Or see, assuming you are a fiancé or a fiancée, and Munyang Warie now or apply for a student visa, or but to me the work who said we a partner now. No, you cannot add you as a partner. The only time you can add you as a partner is if you are married. When you go to GEN 1.2 of the immigration rules, it defines who is a partner. GEN 1.2 of the immigration rules defines who is a partner. Obi awaware no, and you must have a marriage certificate to prove. Obi awunin are stand together in a relationship for 2 years in the UK. That is somebody to whom you are in a relationship with. If you are outside, how can you prove? In that case, it's going to be very difficult or impossible for you to prove that you've lived together 2 years. They will not accept that. Or this civil partnership, that is the gay, lesbian people, their relationship. Of course, Ghana does not accept that. So if your partner is applying for a student visa, then the only way you can be added to the application is if you are married and there is proof of that. Then you will come under the definition of a partner under GEN 1.2 of the immigration rules.
Nice one. Lawyer, na dia o ka san ka me no o ko baby fast me no ndu 6:30 but say me say akabe 9 minutes upon they be upon 7 but questions na eba no ebi mu shout out nko see I know so there. Good evening DJ Nyame na o fa questions number. I think so what answer obi is satisfied with me go through say me di obi say email lawyer email is and that screen so no I think say lawyer email in that screen is the contact number and that screen is in mo pen ni number no the numbers the good screen so no lawyer email ni all right correct now
officeadmin@wismartsolicitors.com. Yes, officeadmin@wismartsolicitors.com. That's correct. And a telephone number is also and a screen.
Okay, inti mo amuhia ne phone numbers ne ne email na egu on inti obetimi I WhatsApp and our friend or a busy man oti. So mo shadows and as a time on fraud.
Yeah, of course, Nidia, I get calls at all times and I try as much as possible to respond. And to from the first time, now please don't give up. Just either WhatsApp me. I try normally in the night, you're quieter. That is when I'm able to respond to some of these WhatsApp messages. But it's so much. So if I ever missed anybody's own, please forgive me. You can always serve me as a reminder to me, and I'll be more than happy to respond to your call. But the difficulty, I said the other time, is it's difficult to answer people's 20 minutes question over the phone when clients are sitting in front of me, clients are waiting to see to be attended to. It's just not practicable to answer 20 minutes call or so. But if you have if you want us to have a meeting, or if you want us to have a telephone conference, or what do you call it, video conference, of course we can book the appointment. Call the office number on 0208 0165 384. 0208 0165 384. You book it, they'll block that time, and then we can have our conversation. Thank you. I'll say web selling. Good evening, lawyer. If a friend gives you an invitation, would it be approved easily? I mean, look, it's not the person who is inviting you that is the issue. That is the key question. And that question also, is in their mind, and it is in the background of their decision making. Because they know that a lot of people come into the UK and they do not go back. So they want to assure themselves that you're converting into pounds, and you're saying, how much is it? Sometimes we'll be sure 5,000 Ghana cedis who convert here and do £100 and I do £500. So you have to know how much you earn, you convert it into pounds, see how much it is. So the invite letter is not a problem. One can support me out to UK, but you can come to the UK without any invite letter. You can just book your own hotel and come and tour the UK if you have the means to do so and you can prove that you will go back. So that is what I would say to that question.
Okay, Yanti, last voice note where he said about lawyer be ansana signing out or no my sister TNS or Bosch Habu Vina Machina 7 Abu. It's lawyer Yanti wina ansana any last message be wa obetimi joining and they be Fridays be our Friday 5:30 Ghana time till 7. So the questions about voice note anyway obe answer member voice note manu.
DJ Nyame, say your bow and sa ewo crow for frosso.
DJ.
You bet me generation near ma. Wabra unya krono or bad free krum ho.
And I'm body you.
DJ Nyame, say your bow and sa ewo crow for frosso. Na sa ufri kronim wabra winni enkrata wu kronim na ukokro for frosso no opi ekowo ewo kwa. Na makwara ni nti no ibet me gina so ma woni ma wabra onya krono oba de free krum ho e woni bibia ukrum ho ibet mi agina so ama woni ma na enyesa edebe e wo se me ye wo se bi ko ho mra nim ni bi na me ka kire no ebi be fra maba ana se dey oba de bit me dimenim me akoya wawe enyesa ne ma no
right out here
ya bon sanu okrofu froso and what Cronmaco Crofu Frosto. And at the end, see what Crow second one is. Wako shall be ho and
what shall be okay, ain't you?
Okay, please.
DJ Nyame, say your bow and sa ewo crow for frosso. Na sa ufri kronim wabra winni enkrata wu kronim na ukokro for frosso no opi ekowo ewo kwa.
Oh, okay. Okay. Or say only obi akowo wo second corona wako so no nti my example say bia nipa no na owo bia owo Italy na owo Germany na owo South Africa na baby na oni krata ewo corona na owo so e na waba UK ha na oni oba bi abewo ewo krom ha the question is wetimi anya krata ewo krom ha UK ha na we fi Germany aba UK when you be able to UK ha, or bet me in your crata or UK ha na. Yes, it is possible depending on the circumstances. So what fit a crofu frosu aba UK ha na waba ubano a British citizen. Abufrani mame wa sitna and into ubano a British citizen. Yes. So when you ubano more in Kitahudie, there's a genuine and continuing relationship, genuine and subsisting relationship. If they are school, if the child is of school going age, and now on your school going age, what the NECO GP, everything is showing set and you are involved in the child's life, and no, you bet me application amount within 24 hours. If everything is in place, if everything is in order, last time, now me the amount for be nami program for so na nami di chire the amount of applications dia sitna no e di amawom DJ Nyame usha it's just a lot me just see a bit of it usha we na ye di omunyina de e di amawom because there's a be amuma e be aware and they've all been granted. So yes, it is possible. The question I will be very, very important. Possible say. In fact, I mean, can say it's almost 100% set Obenya Sitna, provided you meet all the required documents. You can Obenya Sitna. In this case, Obenya Sitna within 24 hours, if all the requirements are satisfied.
Nice one. Lawyer Wisdom Akao yabeda se pa say Friday bia no nyamre be my sa teachings we yabeda se pa our last message bia na obi bia person can you sign out yabeda ma say tie for mu am share SBTV Africa so yabeda ma say last
me da say many animals to send ya kind of questions ya kasa about interview questions next week nyame aduma me did say yabekasa about what is a genuine relationship and now what is a sham relationship. You see relationship in a genuine a person and I see relationship here sham and now a fake a DNA so that you can wait me to unyame na one relationships ni be genuine but because nkrofo enhwehwe omunyame yenti na amakes workers na kwakase enye genuine relationship. Meanwhile it is genuine. And next week nyame aduma be share ho and yakasa about interview questions and amakase it is an inexhaustible the list is you cannot exhaust the list. It's inexhaustible. You can't exhaust the list. The questions about me be san bebre bet me be say especially more UK and bet me be some say what was the last time when we mupie what was the last time which shop do you from which market do you do your shopping from? Do you do it from the Tesco, from Asda, from Lidl, from Sainsbury's? They can ask you all kinds of questions. Of course, they can also ask you the color of your oven, whether you have what kind of television do you have at home? What is the brand name of your television? They can ask you all these questions. That is for people who are mostly together in the UK or in their country. Whereas questions now it's a lot. Those are the some of the questions they can ask. But of course, the list cannot be exhausted. Long and short, so we'll call for interviewer for any question. Just make sure. So number one, form now we're complete. Application form now we're complete. One name information now was our form this so. One name information now was our form this so because a honor and a questions. Once you are able to confirm the information on the form and everything is consistent. Niawaka and awukununsuaka, niawaka and awirinsuaka. There is no room for doubt. But samuko can different answers. Even though your relationship is genuine, that is what creates problems for you. And therefore, if you have any other questions, you can always call in to book in and we can always discuss further. DJ,
Unya no waha, we the abremu free o na wabema musa teachings we nyina 1 hour 30 minutes. One for questions amba. O free akope na o bizebisa the questions are is obuku into ese unse and free to air. Free to air na oba obebisa no free consultation. Na obama ba obetwen ya ubisa no twopon awie no na fe na wakobisa the questions bi nyama bi a wa answer that. And your back just say, I think my movie say a busy on film because questions, I know a busy man. It is a open so you will be more there. Oh, book appointment, I know I can office, no, I go home. And our friend and on a night show, but could be some questions I want some other doubts. I could be some biome there. Meaning I discussing your baby or had that. And he said, I feel no joining a channel and I will nearby a channel, and I feel no be a recommended one. Call a videos, subscribe, and I call a videos, click videos, not call. Obo say, meaning I interviews bebree ma wa church teachings ni ade nyina wa ye nti ye beda na say de bia onya amro na yakasa o SBTV Africa so SBTV Africa so de videos so de ba na ye de ba mi wie no ye drop video nti videos so de o subscribe ya obenya notification but hunde ro na ye do operation 500k ye say e do 500k nti mo hwɛ ya mo subscribe ye no mo nya subscribe ni so keke nya de o register na de o chesike bia o hwɛ o TV so fa phone no na me subscribe no so adoma no se na be the video se banya new obi wa out me hwa no say oh afena ni about 2 years ago 3 years ago videos me wan so dey be the videos yi ba na afena obi bisa questions ho ni ade guy bi me so obi sa me about and obi sa me about Abdullah or say afena ni we ni about video no so na obi sa me about it ni ade I mean, that guy no that prison. My follow up 25 years. yɛkɔyɛ donation man some bibi kɔtena ɔkasoa ne ade unsa afi na obi so ni aboso but ko follow yɛn ko be hu nti ya mo try na mo subscribe to your channel. Madam production team as DJ Click Sharon and Tina Usha Mokroma ka say 2 and Majesty 2 ko website we see at www.jmilabeauty.com jmilabeauty.com ko ha amotun enyama papa nti ko ho for designer perfume for freshness ni ade car mu fie mu ni ade lip gloss ni ade ko website is enyama papa o mo Europe no UK na place order Usha Mokroma ka say 2 na Majesty 2 nti visit www.jmilabeauty.com Makramo Meko Pew nice one